Dear students, this presentation is from the second module of the subject Advanced Energy Engineering. In this presentation, we will be discussing about the solar thermal electric systems. Okay, in solar thermal electric system, what happens is the heat energy of the solar radiation is directly utilized uh, for the various applications. Okay, so we will be absorbing that heat energy using some fluids, and that fluid is used for some other purposes. That types of systems are commonly known as solar thermal electric system. One more system is there in which the solar energy is directly converted into electricity using photovoltaic cell. That is not coming under this system, that we will discuss separately in the upcoming slides. Okay. Anyway, coming to the various solar thermal electric systems or systems working on this principle are solar water heater. This is an important one. You might have you all will be familiar with this one. Then comes the solar cooker, that also is familiar to you. Then comes solar crop dryer, the solar system used for drying purpose and all, just like some fruits and all requires drying. So for the effective drying, we will be using solar system, that is solar crop dryer. Then comes solar distillation or solar still, that is for the purification purpose of the water, that we will be using distillation or solar still. Then comes solar pumping of the water using solar energy. Then comes solar space heating. Electric, solar thermal electric system used for space heating. And then comes space solar thermal electric system used for space cooling purposes. Then the last one is solar furnace. Okay, all these systems we are not discussing here, but majority are discussed in the upcoming slides. Those who are not those topics which are not discussed, those who are interested, you can go through it. That's all. Coming to the first topic, that is solar water heater. See, solar water heater, it is very much familiar to you. The system is intended only for the just to heat the water, and the hot water can be used for the household purposes like bathing and all. Solar water heaters are mainly of two types. One is thermosiphon or natural circulation water heater, and the other type is forced circulation water heating system. Okay, so the difference between these two is, that is thermosiphon system and the forced circulation system, is in thermosiphon system the circulation of the water through the collector is due to the density difference. If the temperature difference of the fluid occurs, then we know that there will be a there will be a density difference. So lighter density, if the temperature increases, density decreases. So lighter density fluid will be moving upward, whereas the heavier density fluid will be moving downward. That principle is utilized for the circulation of the water in the solar heaters of the natural circulation water heater. That action is known as thermosiphon action, movement of the fluid due to the density difference. That action is known as thermosiphon action. But coming to the forced circulation system, we will be using a separate pump. You can see a pump at the bottom portion here. So pump is being used for the circulation of the water. So in this system, an external electric power supply is required, whereas here there is no electric power system is required in the first one. Okay, that is the main difference. So coming to the working, both are similar in construction. See, it will have a solar collector which is having, usually it will be a flat plate collector. The construction we have already discussed. Over the absorber plate, black colored absorber plate, we will have some tubes laid. Usually the tubes will be copper tube. Through that copper tube, water will be circulated. So once the solar radiation hits the absorber plate, the heat energy is given to the fluid which is passing through the copper tubes. So the fluid within the copper tube will get heated. So once the temperature increases due to the density, due to the lesser in density, the fluid will be moving in the upward direction, and it is finally stored in the storage tank. So see, the movement of the water along this line is only due to the density difference. See how much water it is going from the collector to the storage tank. That much water is supplied from the bottom portion of the tank to the solar collector. So this is a continuous circulation system. So how much water is going from this side, that much water is entering through the bottom line. Okay, so storage tank will have two part. One is to hold the hot water, and the other one to hold the cold water. From the cold water side, water will be continuously supplied to the solar collector, whereas from the hot side, the water is coming to the storage tank and it is stored here. So whenever we are in need, we will be using the this hot water stored in the tank for the household purposes. Okay, so but the only difficulty with this system is, in this system the movement of the how much quantity of water is moving to the storage tank depends only on the temperature difference. So once the temperature is required temperature reaches, then only it will be moving to the storage tank. So it will take times. But in this case, since an external agency is used, so forced circulation is there, continuous supply of the water to the storage tank and as to the collector will be taking place. So much more hot water can be produced by using the second system. That is the advantage of second one. See, the same thing is here. In this line, we have connected a water pump. That is the only difference. You can see a dotted line here. Sometimes that is what is called a bleeding. See, from at the uppermost portion, some hot water is being taken. A small portion of the hot water is being taken to this particular chamber, where it is mixed with the cold water coming from this one, so that the cold water temperature is slightly raised by this bleeding system. Okay, so that slightly increased temperature water is then circulated to the solar collector using the pump. So the load on the solar collector can be reduced. So in the most of the household purpose, you might have seen the water heater over the roof of the rooftop of the houses and all. Most of them are basically working on the thermosiphon action only. The modified one are very rarely used. Okay, now that is all about the solar water heater. Coming to the solar cooker, next system, that is solar cooker. The system used for the cooking purpose is commonly so the system used for the cooking purpose using the solar energy is known as solar cooker. So the heat energy from the solar radiation is trapped within a space created by a basin as well as the glass cover. So whatever heat is coming in is stored there. That heat is absorbed by the food items which is to be cooked. Okay, a simplest this is of three types basically. First one is flat plate box type solar cooker. This is the simplest of the all the design. In this design, you can see it is having a the absorbent used is the receiver plate used is a flat plate coated with black paint. You can see it here. This is the blackened metal tray. So this tray will act as the solar absorber plate. So over that plate only we will be placing the cooking utensils. So these boxes are the cooking utensils. So heat energy absorbed by this tray or the solar collector absorbent plate will be giving it to this utensil, so that heat is absorbed by these food items. So we want to for the effective collecting of the solar energy, over the top of this is a metallic box actually. See, you can see a metallic box structure. That's why it is called flat plate box type. That is why it is called a box type. So its structure is just like a box, and it will have two layer, inner layer, inner box, outer box will be there. In between, if it is possible, the space will be evacuated so that insulation can be provided. So apart from this insulation, below the absorber plate usually there will be a thick insulation. You can see this dotted portion, that is the insulation. Okay, so thick insulation will be there below the absorbent plate, so that heat energy absorbed will not be lost due to conduction and convection, etc. So you can see a rubber packing here at the top. See, at the top portion we will have a double glass layer for the penetration of the solar energy into this evacuated space. So in order to keep this space to be airtight, some rubber packings are provided on each side of the glass cover. Okay, a double walled glass cover is placed inside a blackened box which is well insulated and made airtight. So by this method we can produce a maximum temperature of up to 160 degrees Celsius. So that 160 degrees Celsius is enough for the cooking purposes and all. So this is the basic working principle of solar cooker. Okay, this is the simplest one. So this black colored is the absorber plate. Over that plate only we will be placing the cooking utensils. Below that plate we will have the insulation, and outer layer we will have the metallic box. This box also will be having two layers, inner box and outer box will be there. In between space, if possible, will be evacuated. So over the top we will have a two layered glass cover which is transparent for the solar radiation. So once the solar radiation reaches into the space, it will be reflected back, but that radiation will not go out due to the wavelength difference. Okay, so that I have already explained. Okay, so solar radiation having lesser wavelength will be easily transmitted through this solar cover, but whereas once it is getting reflected back, the radiation wavelength will be increased. That means increased wavelength rays cannot go outside the glass plate, so everything is trapped inside. That is the basic principle based on the solar radiation wavelength. Okay, so lesser wavelength radiation can go inside, but higher wavelength radiation cannot go outside. Okay, that is all about the simple one. Then comes the multi reflector type solar cooker. This solar cooker is similar to the earlier one, that is box. This also is in box type only. So only difference is we have added reflectors on the all the four sides if possible, so that more solar radiation can be reflected into the system. So if it is a direct one, is if it is box type solar cooker, then without reflectors, see, these radiations will not be reflected into this system. So only this much radiation will be coming. See, all this radiation from here to here, this much radiation will be only striking inside. But by using the reflectors, we can increase the solar radiation striking into the system. That is what is the purpose of providing the reflectors. That is the only difference. So more performance can be achieved by using the reflectors. Reflectors can be of square type, rectangular shape, triangular shape, various shapes are used. So all these are anyway contributing for the extra energy concentrated into the system. So more temperature is expected to have, and the maximum temperature that we are getting is 200 to 250 degree. Earlier it was only 160 degree. Now it is temperature has increased to 200 to 250 degree. So if you want to go for the more temperature around 450 degrees Celsius, then we will be using parabolic disc type solar collectors. I have already explained that concentrating solar type collectors will have much better performance than the flat plate collectors. Here also it is flat plate collector only. This bottommost portion will have the receiver or the absorber plate, that is only a metallic plate, black coated. Okay, so that plate is absorbing. Over this plate only we will be placing the cooking utensils. Here, instead of having flat plate collector, we will be using concentrating type parabolic disc collectors are being used, so that whatever solar radiation striking on the parabolic surface will be reflected back to the focal point. So more solar radiation can be concentrated to a small area, so the temperature is of course expected to be high. In this focal point we will be placing the cooking pot and all. So the temperature expected to get is around 450 degrees Celsius. So much better performance than the other one, but construction wise it is difficult also. Usually these simple techniques are, this one is the second one, that is multi reflector types are very commonly used. Now coming to the third system, it is solar distillation, or it is also known as solar still. Solar distillation, the purpose of the solar distillation or solar still is to produce the drinkable or potable water from the water having the impurities. See, mostly the water, the saline water, the water having very high salt concentration is purified by this method. That's why it is known as distillation. So actually the salt particle contained in the water is removed by using this process, or simply the pure water is extracted out from the salt water. നമ്മൾ കടലിലെ വെള്ളമൊക്കെ ഇല്ലേ, ഇപ്പം ഇന്ത്യ പോലത്തെ രാജ്യങ്ങളിൽ അത്ര യൂസ്ഫുൾ അല്ല, ഗൾഫ് രാജ്യങ്ങളിലൊക്കെ വളരെ കോമൺ ആയിട്ട് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നതാണ് സോളാർ ഡിസ്റ്റിലേഷൻ. നമ്മൾ കാണുന്ന ഈ ഒരു സൈസ് ഒന്നായിരിക്കും വളരെ വലിയ സൈസിൽ യൂസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് അവിടെ എന്തുണ്ട്, ഡ്രിങ്കിങ് വാട്ടറിൻ്റെ ഒരുപാട് പ്രശ്നങ്ങളുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ അവർ മെയിനായിട്ട് വാട്ടർ പ്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഡിസ്റ്റിലേഷൻ പ്രോസസ്സ് വെച്ചിട്ടാണ്. കടലിൽ നിന്നുള്ള വെള്ളത്തിൽ നിന്ന് ഉപ്പ് റിമൂവ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് ബാക്കി പ്യുവർ വാട്ടർ ആക്കി എടുക്കും. ഓക്കെ, that is the purpose of this solar still. Anyway, coming to the working, just like in the solar cooker, this also having a basin like structure. See, you can see a basin like structure at the bottom portion. So a metallic basin will be there. So over that metallic basin we will have a blackened basin liner or blackened surface. So inner part of this basin is given a black coating, so that the solar radiation will be absorbed at this plate. So in between, below this absorber plate, we will have an insulation. You can see a layer of insulation in this portion. In between portion, we will have a layer of insulation. So over that insulation layer, we will be placing that metallic plate, metallic box. So within that box, we will be keeping the impure water. So impure water is stored in this basin. So the bottom portion of this basin is coated with the black color, so that solar radiation is absorbed. So whatever solar radiation is absorbed here, that heat is provided to the impure water. So once the impure water stored here absorbs the heat, it will get evaporated. If the temperature becomes more than 100 degrees Celsius, then what happens, the water will start evaporating and water vapors are formed. So that water vapor will be of course moving upward due to the density difference. So it will be moving upward. See, at the topmost portion we will be having a roof like structure of transparent cover. Usually glass is used for the transparent top cover. Glass is used as a transparent top cover. So it is given a particular shape like this, just like a roof like structure that I will explain. Anyway, the water vapor formed from this surface using the solar radiation, solar heat is traveling to the traveling upward. So once it strike the surface, inner surface of this glass, it will get condensed. So that condensed water will be slightly flowing through the glass due to this slope. That's why this slope-like structure is provided. So whatever water particles are condensed at the surface of the glass, inner surface of the glass, will be flowing due to this slope towards the bottom portion, and it is being collected in a particular trough will be there to collect these water particles, and it is water is being taken out. Okay, so in that way we will be getting the pure water out. See here, the solid particles will be left at the bottom itself. So whatever water vapors are evaporated, that much quantity is provided from this side, that is filler impure water inlet. So the water level always maintained constant based on the pure water separated from this one. That is what is happening. So you may now, right now you will have a doubt why this is condensed here. The reason is, see, the solar radiation is of shorter wavelength, which will be easily passing through this transparent cover. So all the radiation will be transmitted to the inner portion. So the radiation, after absorbing the heat energy, will get reflected back. That reflected rays will have a higher wavelength. That means it is trapped within sides. That is not possible to it will not be able to pass outside, or it is trapped within the system due to the change in the change in wavelength. Okay, since its wavelength becomes higher, it cannot go outside. So whatever radiation is coming into the system will be absorbed within this system itself. So water will be absorbing most of it. So that is the reason why inner surface of the glass will be at a lower temperature, whereas the outer surface of the glass will be at a higher temperature. This outer surface is only exposed to the solar radiation. Inner surface is not exposed to the solar radiation. So inner surface will be at a lower temperature. That is the reason why water is condensed at this inner surface. So condensed water particles will flow along this tube due to this slope, and is finally collected in a trough placed here, and it is taken outside. Okay, so that is the basic working of the solar still. Okay, now the explanation is given here. It is a device used to convert the saline water into pure drinkable water. Process is called the distillation. It consists of blackened basin containing saline water at a shallow depth. The depth of the water level, the water thickness of the water kept inside the basin will be very less. That's why it is called shallow depth. If the depth is increased, means more heat energy is required, or more heat is stored by the water itself. So evaporation process will be slow down. So that is the reason why we will be keeping only a very thin layer of water on the basin. Okay, a roof like transparent airtight cover of glass is provided on top. I have also explained why it is a slope is provided for that top glass cover. That also I have explained. The impure water on the basin is heated, and the water vapor produced is condensed to purified water on the cooler interior of the glass. Okay, ഗ്ലാസിൻ്റെ അടിഭാഗം തണുത്തിട്ടായിരിക്കും ഉണ്ടാവുക, അവിടെ തട്ടിയിട്ട് അത് കണ്ടൻസ്ഡ് ആവും. കണ്ടൻസ്ഡ് വാട്ടർ ഫ്ലോസ് ഡൗൺ ദ സ്ലോപ്പ് ഓഫ് ദ റൂഫ് ആൻഡ് ഈസ് കളക്ടഡ് ഇൻ എ ട്രഫ്. സെപ്പറേറ്റ് ട്രഫ് വിൽ ബി പ്രൊവൈഡഡ് ഫോർ കളക്ടിങ് ദിസ് കണ്ടൻസ്ഡ് വാട്ടർ. അത് പിന്നെ വീണ്ടും എന്തായാലും മിക്സ് ആകാൻ പാടില്ല, താഴെയുള്ള സലൈൻ വാട്ടറായിട്ട് മിക്സ് ചെയ്യാൻ പാടില്ല. അപ്പോൾ ഗ്ലാസ്സിന് വന്ന് ഈ സൈഡിലുള്ള ബേസിൻ്റെ വാൾ പോലെ വരുന്ന സ്ട്രക്ചറിൽ അതിനോട് ചേർത്തിട്ട് ഒരു ട്രഫ് പോലെ ഒരു സാധനം വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ ഇതിലേക്കാണ് വരിക. അതിലൂടെ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒലിച്ച് വന്നിട്ട് പുറത്തോട്ടേക്ക് നമുക്ക് ഒരു ഹോൾ എടുത്തിട്ട് അതിലൂടെ പുറത്തോട്ടേക്ക് എടുക്കാൻ പറ്റും. Solar still may provide 15 liters per day per 10 meters square. See the size for producing 15 liters of pure water per day, we require 10 meter square area of the solar collector. That much huge size it will be having. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു 150 ലിറ്റർ ഒരു ദിവസം ഉണ്ടാക്കണമെങ്കിൽ 100 മീറ്റർ സ്ക്വയറോളം വേണ്ടി വരും. സോ ഇത് വലിയ സ്ട്രക്ചേഴ്സ് ആയിരിക്കും. അങ്ങനത്തെ ഉണ്ട്, ഗൾഫ് രാജ്യങ്ങളിലൊക്കെ ഉണ്ട്. Now next one is solar space heating. This is very much familiar to you. Solar space heating in India, this system is not at all required. അല്ല, നമ്മളിവിടെയൊക്കെ ചൂട് കൂടുതലുള്ള സ്ഥലമാണ്, നമുക്കൊക്കെ സ്പേസ് കൂളിംഗ് മാത്രമേ ആവശ്യം വരുന്നു, ഹീറ്റിങ്ങിൻ്റെ ആവശ്യം വരുന്നില്ല. പക്ഷേ ഫോറിൻ കൺട്രീസിൽ ഇപ്പം നെതർലാൻഡ് അതുപോലെയൊക്കെയുള്ള അങ്ങോട്ടുള്ള കൺട്രീസിലൊക്കെ വരികയാണെങ്കിൽ അവർക്ക് കൂളിങ്ങിനെക്കാട്ടി അവർക്ക് വേണ്ടതാണ് ഹീറ്റിംഗ് ആണ്. കാരണം അവിടുത്തെ ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ എപ്പോഴും എന്തായിരിക്കും, ഓൾവേസ് ദ ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ അറ്റ് ദീസ് കൺട്രീസ് വിൽ ബി very low temperature. So always they are in need of solar heat, always in need of heating instead of cooling. So mostly they will be depending solar space heating for the heating purposes. Okay, so you can see the working principle here. See, solar radiation is collected in a solar collector array. Arrays of solar collector will be there, so that we will have a large quantity of hot fluid produced. സിംഗിൾ കളക്ടർ ആയിരിക്കില്ല, ഒരുപാട് കളക്ടർ ചേർന്നതായിരിക്കും. അപ്പോൾ അതിൽ നല്ല ഹോട്ട് വാട്ടർ പ്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ഫ്രം ദ അരേസ് ഓഫ് സോളാർ കളക്ടർ വിൽ ബി സ്റ്റോർഡ് ഇൻസൈഡ് എ വാട്ടർ വിൽ ബി പാസിംഗ് ത്രൂ എ water tank storage unit. See, this is the water tank storage unit. Then it is pumped again. Once the heat within this tank, the heat energy is provided to the working fluid. Another working fluid will be usually either it can be water or some other fluid. The heat energy of this hot water is provided to the uh, another fluid. Usually it is again water only. So that is being passed through the heat energy. So heat energy from the hot water is absorbed here by this fluid passing through this line, and it is passing that heat to the within the heat engine. It is passing the heat to the fluid which is passing to the building. Usually it will be air. So air is heated, that hot air is passed into the building. So cold air from the building will be coming back. So this act as a heat exchanger. So this air will be absorbing heat from this fluid in between. Okay, so in between we are using a separator. So now right now you will be thinking ഇതെന്തിനാ ഇങ്ങനെ രണ്ട് ഫ്ലൂയിഡ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നതിലൊരു കൺഫ്യൂഷൻ വരാം. ഓക്കെ, that you will have a confusion why two fluids are being used. The reason is in the collector we will be circulating a separate fluid. ഇപ്പോൾ ഇങ്ങനത്തെ രാജ്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ ആകുമ്പോൾ എന്താണ്, വളരെ ലോ ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ ആയിരിക്കും. യൂഷ്വലി ദ ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ വിത്തിൻ ദാറ്റ് കൺട്രീസ് വിൽ ബി വെരി ലോ ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ. സോ the chances for the freezing of the water will be there. So usually we will be adding some anti-freezing agents through the fluid to the fluid which is circulated through the solar collector. വാട്ടർ ആണെങ്കിൽ വാട്ടറിലൂടെ ആൻറ്റി-ഫ്രീസിങ് ഏജൻറ്റും കൂടി ആഡ് ചെയ്തിട്ടാണ് സോളാർ കളക്ടറിലൂടെ പാസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. So the fluid which is passing through the solar collector is to be kept as safe with adding anti-freezing agent, so that the continuous flow of water is ensured. Okay, so that hot water is being stored here. Then whenever it is required, that heat energy is provided to the another fluid. So if it is it can be a normal fluid. ഫ്രീസിങ് ഉണ്ടായാലും കുഴപ്പമില്ല എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിലുള്ള ഫ്ലൂയിഡ് ആയിരിക്കും, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വേറെ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഫ്രീസിങ് സംഭവിക്കാത്ത ഫ്ലൂയിഡ്സ് ആയിരിക്കും യൂസ് ചെയ്യുക. പക്ഷേ അതേ ഫ്ലൂയിഡ് നമുക്ക് എന്തെങ്കിലും യൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റണമെന്നില്ല, സോളാർ കളക്ടറിൽ പറ്റണമെന്നില്ല. സോ ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് ദ റീസൺ വൈ വിൽ ബി യൂസിങ് two different types of fluid. So the hot water from the solar collector is stored in this tank. Whenever it is required, that heat energy is provided to a secondary fluid which is passing through the heat exchanger. On passing through the heat exchanger, that will be providing the heat to the air which is to be heated, and it is finally given to the room space where heating is required. That is all about the working of the solar space heating. Okay, if anti-freezing difficulty is not there, this secondary fluid we can directly eliminate. This fluid can be directly passed through the heat exchanger for the heating purpose. And one more thing is, see, mostly in the night and all the heating is required, but the hot water produced inside the collector is during the daytime. So it is better to have a water tanks or storage tank for the hot water. So instead of using the same hot water in the night, we will be using a separate fluid for absorbing this heat from the water tank and providing it in the heat exchanger. Okay, that's all about the solar space heating. Now next one is polar space cooling, and then comes the solar thermal power generation. These two topics we will be discussing in the next presentation. Okay, thank you.